When people look at a work of art, they often focus on its visual features, such as color, shape, or composition. However, understanding the context in which an artwork was created can greatly deepen appreciation. Artistic context includes the historical period, cultural values, and personal circumstances of the artist. For example, a painting created during a time of war may contain symbols of conflict or loss, even if these elements are not immediately obvious. Without knowing the historical background, viewers might interpret the artwork simply as dark or unsettling, missing its deeper meaning. Context also helps explain why certain styles emerge at particular times. Artistic movements often develop in response to social change, technological advancement, or dissatisfaction with earlier traditions. That said, context does not dictate a single correct interpretation. Artists do not always intend viewers to understand every reference, and personal responses still play an important role. Nevertheless, context provides a useful framework that helps viewers connect visual elements with broader ideas. In short, learning about artistic context allows viewers to move beyond surface impressions and engage more thoughtfully with art.
In discussions of art and design, beauty is often treated as the primary goal. However, in many forms of design, function is just as important as appearance. Objects such as chairs, buildings, or everyday tools must serve practical purposes, and their design choices reflect this requirement. Consider architecture. A visually striking building may attract attention, but if it fails to provide comfort, safety, or efficiency, it is unlikely to be considered successful. Designers therefore balance aesthetic appeal with usability. This balance often leads to simple forms and minimal decoration, especially in modern design movements. Interestingly, designs that prioritize function often influence artistic styles. Over time, functional solutions can become visually appealing simply because people grow accustomed to them. As a result, ideas of beauty can change, shaped by practicality rather than ornamentation. Thus, design demonstrates that art does not always exist solely for visual pleasure. Instead, it frequently reflects the practical needs of human life.
Art styles rarely remain the same for long periods. Instead, they evolve as artists respond to new ideas, materials, and audiences. One reason for this change is that artists often seek originality. When a particular style becomes widespread, it may lose its ability to surprise or challenge viewers. Technological developments also play an important role. New tools and materials allow artists to experiment in ways that were previously impossible. For example, the invention of photography changed how painters approached realism, encouraging them to explore alternative forms of expression. Audience expectations further influence stylistic change. As viewers become familiar with certain visual conventions, artists may deliberately break those conventions to regain attention. This cycle of innovation and reaction helps explain why art history is marked by distinct periods rather than continuous uniformity. Therefore, changes in art style should not be seen as a rejection of the past, but as part of an ongoing conversation between artists, technology, and society.